Hey guys, welcome back to the Nashville Fit Magazine Media and Marketing Podcast. We are here coming to you from the Optimize You studio, and our sponsors today are Stat Wellness, Restore Hyper Wellness, and Social Indoor. I'm here with Terry. What's up, Terry?
What's up? What's up? We're deep on the list of co-hosts.
Yep,
fill-ins, so here I am.
I was about to say I missed Tala at this point.
Wow.
But just kidding. Excited to have you here with me.
I'm excited to be here in the NFM penthouse with our good friend Vanessa Hampton.
Yeah, Vanessa, how are you?
The facilitator of the penthouse.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that later.
I don't even know what label to give Vanessa and what we're going to talk about because there's so much to talk about today.
There is.
Vanessa does so many things, so I'm excited to get into all of it. But before we do, what have you been up to, Terry? Since you're here, let's catch up.
It's the summer, so
it is. It's hot.
Well, yeah, but I also love being outdoors.
Me too.
Not right now. It's hot as the sun.
I don't care.
Literally, it's like walking on the sun.
When I get off work, I will go home, plug my computer in, sit outside on the swing, which is in the shade.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have a patio with a big old fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just sit out there and we hang out outside a lot.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
For no good reason.
Especially in the summer because indoor is too cold because the AC is so low.
Yeah.
And I hate being cold. So I'd rather be dripping sweat in the sun than to be any cold at all.
I have a long enough memory to remember how cold it is in the winter and how much we hate the cold, and we all hide indoors. Yeah. So I try to maximize
appreciate
the outside,
summer.
even when it doesn't make sense. My granddaughter was over on Sunday, and she's almost 3, and said to my wife that it's too hot to go outside. Why is Pappy outside?
3-year-old.
At 3 years old.
It's not too hot to go outside.
She is spoiled.
That's like a concept. Yeah, that's a concept that I did not grow up with. Like, I didn't know that people thought it was too hot to go out. Like, it's too cold to go out.
Sure.
You don't go outside, you just stay inside because it's cold. But in the summertime, we were outside
all the time.
Yeah. I mean, who knows what the heat index was? We were outside. My mom would be like, bye, you got 2 hours. Here's some water, snacks. Do not come in this house.
Your mom was nicer than mine.
I love nothing more than being outside. Truly, in the mornings, morning walk, evening walk, anything like that, just sitting on the porch. But I'm going to tell you, the heat of the day, my tolerance has gotten less for it recently. And I don't know why. It just feels like a hair dryer walking out there.
And you're right. Like, so Sunday, how I handled it outside was that I filled up we have a dog pool.
So you just sat in it?
I just filled it up. And when I would get wet, and then I would sit on the swing and watch the outdoor TV, like watch ridiculousness or something stupid. I'm zoning out, right? And then I get dry and start sweating, back at the dog pool.
Love it.
That was my routine.
You need a swimming pool.
Yes, I do.
That's what people do.
But hey, before we get into too much more talking about my lifestyle and its weirdness, let's get into the basket of debate.
That's the icebreaker.
Yeah, there it is. Vanessa, this is the infamous basket of debate. It has traveled the world, and I mean that literally. And it's been featured on the news as well.
Oh,
wow.
But it is our youth group icebreaker game. This is how we get to know each other a little bit better, and it's fun.
Okay.
So take one and
treat
pass
it with
to
care.
Abby. Then we'll all go around.
Do you reuse them, or do you make new ones up all the time?
No comment. Industry secrets. We can talk about that off camera if you'd like.
All right. Who's going first? Terry?
I can go first. Sure. Is it worse to forget someone's name 5 minutes after they tell you, or call them the wrong name for years? Both things have been true in my life. Yeah, man, I guess I'd rather not call them the wrong name for years.
Yeah.
Same.
So
you can easily, if it's within that 5-minute period, you can easily say, okay, remind me. I know I'm not going to remember your name, but we're going to remind each other.
Fall on the sword.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
Yeah.
Years?
That's crazy.
That's not good.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, I think everybody.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
buddy.
There's a whole Seinfeld episode about this. Right. Hey, you.
Hey, girl. I feel like that's what I do. Hey, girl.
Right.
Yeah.
What's up?
That's what I did. What's up, bro?
Yeah. I think years is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you don't ask within the 5 minutes that you had forgotten, then that's what happens. You get to where you're
it's
like,
on you from there on out.
Right. Yeah, because then you get to where it's too late to ask.
Right.
You should know. But if 5 minutes you ask again, then we all have short-term memory loss sometimes.
Yeah, it's all about that. It's all about that. You're not important enough to me to remember my name. Well, within 5 minutes, you really haven't gained much importance, but years, you should have importance enough to remember somebody's name at that point.
You're right.
For sure.
And this is going to be put to test later on today, as Vanessa and I like to tag team going to networking events together. And I'm like, what was that person's name again? And she's like, I don't know.
Well, fortunately, we should have name tags on this one, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, well, name tags, and then I'm going to start filling in their names below mine so I don't forget. But if you go back and look at old NFM, like the beginning of when we took over and started doing video interviews, you'll see where names elude me.
Me too.
And when the light's on and I'm under pressure, I can perform when the camera's on. But when it's to the name, I worry so much about screwing it up that I actually screw it up.
Yeah.
Well, and if y'all are like me, as a trainer, I can tell you when somebody walks in a room exactly what is wrong with them, exactly what their issues are, exactly if there's, personally, I can tell you anything about them, but their name may escape me. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I only have so much retention.
I think so many people can relate though. So I appreciate that. We're not all the only ones.
That's true.
Yeah.
Vanessa, what you got on your list? On yours?
Would you rather always have something stuck in your teeth or always feel like you have to sneeze but never can?
Oh my gosh.
That one's easy. Always feel like I have to sneeze because I have always had a phobia of having something in my teeth. Always. I hate
that one's
feeling.
Terrible.
It is terrible.
I don't know.
Neither of those are great.
Those are both awful.
But I'm going to pick teeth over the sneeze because there's something so satisfying about the sneeze.
There is something satisfying about it, but
to be
walking
on the
around
edge
and
of that,
somebody staring at you with something in your teeth.
We're walking around like this. I don't really see how it's. I don't know. I don't know if there's a better version of either thing for me.
I don't think I could focus. If
You're licking your teeth right now, worried about something in your teeth.
I'm like, I just had a banana, a chicken stick.
Either way, you've got to convince yourself that it's okay.
Yeah,
you're right. Either way, so I think I would choose something in my teeth, and I would just tell people my teeth are too tight together, and it's just I need braces or something. Yeah, because I think it'd be terrible to always feel like you have to sneeze. I wouldn't be able to focus on anything else.
Yeah, you could carry floss around all the time and just manage that.
Yeah. All right, let's see. My turn. Would you rather always have wet socks or always have an itchy sweater?
I hate itchy sweaters, so I'm going to go wet socks.
Wet socks.
Overly sensitive on all those things. My shoes, if they're wrong, if one's too tight versus the other one, that drives me crazy. So it's something overstimulation of those sort of things. I can't choose between those two.
So you're opting out?
I'm opting out.
Do we allow that, Terry? Do we allow an opt-out of the basket debate?
I feel like there should be a punishment.
I choose
but I don't
wear
have
t-shirts and no socks.
Yeah, there you go. No socks.
Yeah, I think wet socks. It's not that bad. It's fine.
It's not that bad, but when there's nothing
Itchy
more
sweater?
frustrating than when you're like getting ready and you put your socks on and you somehow step in something wet at the house. I'm like,
does that happen to you a lot?
Yeah, I would say at least once a month. It's like I overflow from my water bottle filling up that I didn't catch.
Yeah, just all kinds of little.
Water got on the floor in the bathroom. Rinsing your mouth out after brushing your teeth. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just find it with my sock and it just makes me so mad.
We do. So one of the things that I do is with Magic Sports, I'm on the crew for doing triathlons. And so we've had some rainy races where your feet get wet, your socks get wet, and you're just having to tough it out for the length of the whole thing. So if I did have to probably choose, it probably would be the sweater because I've had those wet socks and had to stay in them for so long.
Sure.
That, yeah, probably that one.
Yeah. The half marathon I did in March, it was like a flood, like lightning, thunder. It was coming down. They canceled the race, but I just kept running and
Was that
my
the
feet
St.
were
Pat's?
soaked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
St.
a Magic
Patty's
race.
Oh, really?
I was there.
You were there?
I was probably announcing your name at the finish line.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, no, you weren't because everybody was gone.
Oh, because they were gone. Okay.
They're literally,
gotcha.
They had some bananas left and like some granola bars. I was like, good. But everybody was like gone.
Yeah, that was.
I just was
we
completing
tried
it for
our
myself on my watch.
best to get that one in because it came in sooner than what was expected. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
We got like 6 miles in, I think,
Mhm.
and then they made us turn around, and
Mhm.
I was like, well, I guess I can keep
I was
going.
standing with a microphone because I was the announcer at the finish line. I was standing with a microphone under a tent going, I'm not really sure with this lightning if this is the best place for me to be under this tent. I was trying to take a survey of, do I stand out in the rain and take my chances or stand here with these aluminum?
It was bad.
It was bad.
I was really scared to like continue on, but I was like, I had to choose. Like, am I more scared to continue on, or would I be more upset if I had to stop? And I just decided that I'd be fine. So
Yeah, it's
kept
fine.
going.
Everything's fine.
But yeah, there was lightning. Like, you could see it right in front of you. Like, striking
bad,
down. It was really close.
Yeah.
This is a great segue to get into, because you were working that race as an announcer.
Correct.
But you do so many different things.
Mhm.
Do you ever get annoyed when people say you're doing too much, or do people tell you that?
Oh, my husband tells me that all the time. Yeah.
Do you listen?
People do tell me. I have friends that it's the best of intentions, but and there have been occasions where I do too much, but it's not it's my personality. It's what I do.
Sure.
I love everything that I do. And so there have been times where I've been, burnt out, especially when I was doing personal training, and then I got my massage therapy license and was doing both. And then even when I was going more into massage therapy, still doing personal training, it was more of, I had so many appointments back to back to back because I was essentially doing training in the morning and then I was doing massage therapy in the afternoons. And this was like 5 days a week pretty much. And so that was too much. But I knew that was too much, but that was getting me my foundation of where I am now. So yes, it does.
Grind.
It feels like one of the conversations that I have with my husband a lot is, this is me. This is not you. And I want to be respectful of our time and my family and obligation, not just obligations, but family time and things like that. But it doesn't make it bad that my drive to do things and the amount of time that I spend doing those is a lot more than, like, I don't have a 9-to-5 job where I just come home and sit. It doesn't work like that, and nor do I want it to. That's just not, even when I was working a 9-to-5 job, I was doing school at night, or I was working other jobs at night. When I became a trainer, I was still working in finance full time, and I was training in the morning and the evenings. I just have that mindset. So yeah.
So I've heard it. I get annoyed with it and there was a season where,
well, it's hard to defend yourself because it's such a negative connotation to it, and that's what's frustrating. Is like, this is not a negative thing. I'm doing what I love because I love it. And yes, it's a lot for some people, but it shouldn't be a negative thing because this is who I am.
That's the point I want to make, is this perception. Right. There's a couple of things that are true here. One is there's doing too much, and then there's doing what it takes. Right. And when you're doing what it takes as an entrepreneur, like the person that works at that 9-to-5 job, that point in, sorry if this is offensive, but at the point that you're working at a spot where you can clock in and clock out, you're now in the pipeline, plugged in, taking advantage of everything that founder did when he was being told he's doing too much. So it's doing what it takes more than it is doing too much, because that too much just feels like too much for you, because you thrive in a 9-to-5 environment, and that's great. Some of us have a drive we cannot shut off.
Well, and that's the whole thing. It's like, I think about that drive, and people say, well, are you working towards, this is just short term, are you working towards more balance or whatever? But that balance looks different for me, and it looks different for me at given points. 5 years ago, it looked different than it does now, and I'm sure 5 years from now, when I always pivot, and I've gotten really good at this. I feel it in my stomach, and I feel it from deep inside if I know that I need to pivot. If I'm getting burnt out, or I'm getting worn out, or I'm no longer enjoying parts of what I'm doing, that's when I'll pivot. That's when I say, okay, this is too much, or something is not working here. But like right now, I'm doing a lot, and it's hard to verbalize all the things I'm doing, but I don't feel run down. I'm very busy, but it's invigorating for me. And yes, there's stress that comes along with it, but I love every part of what I'm doing and what I'm building here. So yeah, my husband has gotten a whole lot better about it because I just want people to embrace me for who I am and all the things I do instead of telling me that I'm doing too much.
Sure.
So with all these things that you are doing, this drive that you have, where did that come from? Can you use there a time in your life where you can rewind back to and know when it started? Has it always been that way? And then what, kind of tell us about the journey. What was the beginning?
So when I was in school, when I was young, I was overweight, and highly insecure. Very introverted in school and just scared of my own shadow. And so I went through school like that, and just that major insecurity. And what that led to is after school, I got pregnant right out of high school. I had my son. Best thing that could have ever happened, though I would not choose that journey for anybody to do that way. But what that did was, I was a single mom. It put me in a situation with that insecurity, with being a single mom, with being just beat down from life in general. My choice of who I married was not the best choice. It was, at the time, it was more of, that was the situation in life. I needed somebody. I was tired of doing it by myself. It got me into a very toxic relationship that I'm very grateful for to this day, because I feel like that's why I am the person that I am. All of that had to happen for me to be the person I am. So 9 years of being married to an alcoholic, being in walking around with a knot in my stomach all the time, not understanding that's what stress truly felt like at its core. When I finally made the choice to step away from that, it took everything inside of me to do that. And it took a lot of healing to come out of that and get to the other side of that. That's in that transition is when I became a trainer. I found working out, and I always go back to this. My husband and I had a conversation about this weekend. Everything is about control. We as humans, it's about control, and everybody's fears are driven by feeling in general. Fears are driven by what you don't feel like you have control of, whether it's your health, whether it's your situation, whether it's, all of those things. I felt very out of control for a very long time, and physically being able to pick up a weight gave me that physical control that I did not have before. The results from that, of my body changing, of starting to feel like I had control of my weight, starting to feel like I had control of my strength, and how I felt, and realizing that I had power with that, was huge. I mean, it gives me chills now thinking about going back to the core. So much has happened, but it's true. It's the physical and the emotional. All of that is what started all of this. And so my whole point in becoming a trainer, because of those emotions, because of that headspace and that mental health part of it, that's where I knew I had value to bring, because there's a lot of people that struggle with a lot of the things that I'm talking about. There's so many of us, and we all have our struggles with what we deal with, whether it's anxiety, whether it's insecurities, whether, all of those things. And so I knew I had value to bring from there, and it just kind of kept, once I started getting that feeling of, I'm really helping this person, and being able to pay it forward. And I've had some health issues over the years, that everything that's happened, I've felt like I was able to pay that forward. There was a reason that I was learning that firsthand, so that I could help somebody to the other side of where they're at. So
what a testimony. I mean, we, like anyone who's personal trained before, knows that you aren't just there counting reps, and you aren't just there guiding and correcting. You are also there to listen and
Yeah,
build
I mean,
a relationship.
There's
So,
been many sessions where somebody has come in just at their most vulnerable, and I'm sure y'all have experienced this too, where our whole session was sitting on a couch and talking through where they were, because if you can't get to that headspace, you're not getting anywhere with
true.
their
Oh yeah,
exercise. Yeah, it doesn't make a difference.
We had a term for it in our gym. It was called a walk and talk.
Yeah.
So somebody comes in, they're just volatile out of the space, or you say hi and they go, "Good morning," and then just tears.
Oh,
like, let's take a walk.
Yep. And I've had to train some of my team, especially my trainers that come into that where they feel like they're not doing their job if they're not giving some exercises or they're not actually physically doing the work. And I've just told them, I'm like, everybody needs us for a different reason.
Yeah.
And if that's what they need that day, then that's where you show up for them for that reason. And you have no idea if that's going to make all the difference in what their week turns out like, or, where they're at emotionally in that. It can be a pivotal moment just to know you have somebody to.
Yeah. One thing I've experienced in this job so far is that it is so much more than just training. It's a lot, like it has to be lifestyle coaching, because you can't see change. There's so many things besides just exercise to get people the results they want, whether it's physical results or just feeling the way they want to feel better. There's so many other factors, and you end up being a lifestyle coach. You end up talking to them about their habits. And
I think the best trainers embrace that.
Yeah.
When you can see that it's not your way, it's showing up for somebody. And we may not know the answer, but we're going to figure it out together. And that's what people need at the end of the day.
Is that part of what put you into the massage therapy world? Like, led you there?
I felt like, we've already talked about my personality. Once I conquer something, then I need something else, which is why I do really well owning my own business. But I felt like there was a missing piece. I started out as a trainer, and that was awesome, but I was constantly sending people, I think more holistically, like naturally think more holistically, and I didn't even realize what that was at the time. I knew there was more to it. It's not just about exercises. That's only one piece of it. And so I was sending people for massage. I was sending people to do for PT, different things to help them move better. And I just felt like I needed to be more hands-on to be able to make more of an impact. I got massages myself, and I knew what a difference they made for me. But I also am really good at watching movement and seeing where imbalances are coming from. And, that's a learned thing as well as, a taught thing. But I just wanted to be more hands-on. And so I wasn't interested in going back to school to become a physical therapist. I didn't want that world, but I did want that piece of it. And so that's what drove me to do that. So I went to night school while I was still training for a year to get my massage license.
And so that's what, like, Body Well, that's what it kind of encompasses, right? Training, massage. And do you have multiple locations?
So Brentwood, we are in here, and we are in B-2 in Mount Juliet as well. We do most of the fitness that I do. I started with a 55 plus community, and it's kind of settled out there. We do some online and in-home training. My trainers do, but most of it is within the community.
Awesome.
Speaking of Body Well,
I knew you had a good question over there.
We are also, I joke about being in the NFM penthouse. Trying to come in my door. Tell us about where we are.
We are at B-2 Wellness Suites. So
which is a really cool concept that I want you to elaborate on.
Yeah, through having to look for, with fitness, I never had to have a brick and mortar because I was in communities. So I was going to in-home, or I was going into the community. So I didn't have to worry about that. I always intended to keep my overhead low because I never wanted to lose my drive for what I was doing. I didn't want it to have to become about money. And I knew that was a challenge with doing what I was doing. When I became a massage therapist, obviously you can't really do that via Zoom. So I started.
Can you imagine?
I just love the mental picture.
I know.
You're going to need a partner.
Stick that elbow right there.
Yeah. No, to the left.
So I started looking for space and quickly realized the challenges of finding a small space to be a service professional.
Yeah.
And when I got my original spot, both here and Mount Juliet, because I actually opened during COVID, they were both within spaces that had IT professionals and attorneys and all these business professionals that had nothing to do with what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And so my instant desire was, well, I want to be around other wellness professionals. This just makes sense from both, a space where I have other people to bounce off of, but also a referral base, And so that's where it started, was as soon as I started looking for space. And then I was in both my space and Mount Juliet. I was in other spaces for about 4 to 5 years in both places, and just frustrations through both of those spaces. Especially the one here is where I decided that I was going to go ahead and I'm like, I need to do this. I need to go ahead and take the leap and try to do this. And so I had no idea what it was going to look like, but I decided to create a space where multiple wellness professionals could be housed in one space. I wanted to bring flexible office options. I wanted to make it easy for wellness professionals, and that is where the whole concept started. So where we are sitting now is the OG space for B-2 that I opened in officially in May of last year. And then we expanded down to the second floor in this building in October of last year, and then the third time on the second floor to an additional space in January of this year. And then I just opened B-2 in April in Mount Juliet.
So I think the story of how we got here is kind of funny, so I want to tell it. But to give a reference, if you guys have watched the Sense of Paddle video where we had a beef with Magic Fit, and you noticed that the one mean mugging in the background was oddly similar.
Yours truly.
That's Vanessa. So you got
I get told to show up to places, and I'm like, I don't know what we're doing, but this is what we're doing.
Well,
okay.
So I think that's kind of why I wanted to bring it up, because contextually this is important. Because I do in essence kind of fly by the seat of my pants with some of that stuff. It's like, follow me, trust me, got a vision, you'll get it in a second type of mentality. So we were talking about doing this video on a Zoom call with Joe Fleener, who is him and his business partner. Her name is eluding me.
Faye Yates.
Faye, thank you. I always want to say Faith. They are the proprietors of Magic Sports, mm-hmm. and they've got a subsidiary called Magic Fit, and that's where you come in. Mm-hmm. So you help them facilitate corporate events, which if you're looking for a corporate event, holler at Vanessa or Joe with Magic Fit, because you guys do some cool stuff.
We do fitness and wellness activities for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. I do want to unpack that in a second. But the fun fact is she's on this call. It's the first time meeting Vanessa. She's hanging out with Joe on the Zoom call. And I'm an idiot on this call. I don't know why, but I come on that call, and maybe it's Joe's fault because we're the same age. I don't know. But we just start cutting up and just kind of giving each other a little bit of crap on the Zoom call. Something I would never do.
I felt like I was on Zoom with my brothers.
Yeah,
what I felt like.
A bunch of freaking goofballs. And then Vanessa introduced herself and said what she did. And I was like, oh, I need to come back to that.
You said, I've heard of that. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I'm doing something right.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I immediately wanted to know more because we were, you know, for the first 2 years, we were running this thing out of the back of my house, mm-hmm. which is not really ideal.
Yeah, we love it here.
Yes,
so
we
nice.
Do. We do love it here. So Vanessa and I had a separate call, and I was like, well, I would like to look at the space. And we were trying to, figure out dates. And I think we were doing this at Tech.
Well, what was funny was after the call, I'm like, I need to see if he wants to come see it, if he's heard of it.
Yeah.
And so I think I emailed you almost instantly.
Maybe that was it, yeah.
And I was like, well, do you want to come see it? And you're like, oh, yes.
Right.
which took me aback because I was like, well, okay, let's do it.
That's the type of message you want to receive. And then we were trying to schedule it, and we were missing each other because the meetings. I was like, is it cool? Is it if I just stop
I'll
by?
just go over there. I was like, well, okay. Because at this point still, I just thought he wanted to see this place.
Yeah.
I was like, he really wants to see
serious?
it.
Yeah. Well, then I came in here and I was like, I'll take it.
Perfect.
This is the
Great.
one.
Yeah.
And then we moved in 4 days later.
Love that.
Yeah. And so, yeah, super thankful to you for that, for the opportunity to be in here. But yeah, the NFM podcast is, brought to you by Optimize You, but lives in B-2 Wellness Penthouse. So
I miss the
we say that
grass
with pride.
wall.
We say that with pride.
That's all I'm going to say is I miss the grass wall.
I know you missed that.
Yeah, but we could put a grass wall there.
It's not coming back.
Oh, well, we could put something cute there.
Lived its life. But let's go. There's so much that I want to unpack, and we're going to have to take a quick break and come back and do some of that. So we'll be right back after a word from these fine sponsors.
Hey guys, welcome back. We've been talking with Vanessa, and you've been sharing so much about your story and all these things you're doing. You have such a drive, and you went way back to the beginning, having a kid right out of high school, getting in a marriage that was hard, that I take from that, and then being a single mom. And then from all these challenges, you have done so much. You started your own business as a personal trainer, and then got your massage therapist license. So many things and we're going to keep talking about more things. Hearing that is so empowering, and I feel like it can be really hard to be a woman in general, and then also be a single mom, and then still feel like you can do something hard and do something that you want to do and pursue your dreams. So what would you say? One, this is fitness we're talking about, not just any job or any dream. And fitness is so empowering to women and gives you so much to life. So one, what would you say to women who are considering, they're starting their journey in health and wellness? And two, what would you say to women who are thinking about doing something that is hard, and pursuing something like this, or being an entrepreneur?
Well, I think that I go back to it's all about control. And a lot of times that of people that I've come across and how I was, when I would walk into a gym, I always knew that I needed to do something, but it was more from a perspective of how I looked, because I wanted to change my weight.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about health. It wasn't about anything else. It started because I did not like what I saw in the mirror, but I also didn't know enough about or have the drive or motivation to do it. It was more of lack of knowledge of knowing, number one, that I could do it, and knowing what to do to be able to make a change. Okay, well, you need to eat less. Well, that's what I thought in my head. You need to eat less. Okay, you need to go for a walk. The whole gym thing, the whole working out thing was just not, I tried a Curves Fitness one time.
I remember Curves.
Curves. I remember doing Curves at one point. I think I went twice.
That was my biggest joke in my boot camp class at the community center. Shout out to Coleman Community Center. Is I would go in there and there'd be all these wonderful middle-aged women that would come to my class, which I was super flattered, but they get to yapping. And I would, ladies, this isn't Curves. Get back to work.
Yeah. I think the narrative for so long was that like the gym was for guys.
It was.
Girls just eat less or do cardio.
Something like that.
That was the whole thing. I think too, it's much easier to try to control day in and day out what you're putting in your mouth. So you feel like that's a little more accessible to you than walking into a gym and trying to figure out what to do there. Or what else you do besides like, I just need to walk for a long time. That's what I thought. So when I first decided that I was going to change something, and I struggled with some eating issues when I was in high school because I was, like I said, I was overweight and insecure. So I went through the whole range of, I'm just going to pretty much stop eating. And, I lost a bunch of weight. Yeah. So that was good, but it wasn't good the way that I did it. So I went back and forth like that for a long time. But the first thing when I decided to take control of something was my eating. And I did it all wrong. I was not eating. It was the low fat craze at that time. Everything low fat. Everything low fat. That was my 80s. Prime time. Yeah. Well, it wasn't
late 80s, early 90s.
It would have been the late 90s.
I'm trying to not ask her an age.
No, it's okay. I'll tell you. I'm open about it. I'm 51.
Okay.
So, so I did that. But I did that for a year and I started seeing results and I started changing. And I'm like, okay, I like how I'm feeling better now about how my clothes are fitting. And so then I just walked through the door of the gym. That's what it amounted to. And I actually had that thought this morning because this kind of ties into everything. There are days, I think a lot of times, and I've heard this, people that don't work out all the time or that struggle with exactly what we're talking about, they look at us who are consistent, who really try to watch what they eat and who are consistent with exercise and all of that. And I think they think that it just comes easy. And
for sure.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter where you are in this journey or who you are. If there is anybody that says that this is easy and that they every day are motivated and they wake up like that, it is not like that.
Do you know how many times I've gotten, but you like to work out?
I love to work out, but it doesn't
still talk myself into 100%. Getting started.
You have to walk through the door. Yeah. And that's really what I always say is just walk through the door. And whatever happens that day, usually it's going to be more than what you think you're going to be able to do.
Right.
But it's walking through the door. And maybe today is going to be a mobility day. But doing something to move your body, whether that's today, I'm going to take a walk because that's all I have in me. But I will feel better after I take that walk.
So what do you, and this is to both of you ladies, because I feel like as a dude trainer and being in the industry for 20 years, the majority of my clientele has been women. And I know there's an intimidation factor because I've had tons of conversations with women about this. I'm interested to know what y'all's take is on this. Like, what is the, I guess maybe number one and number two intimidation factors you're hearing from your female clients?
Well, for me, before I actually learned what to do in the gym, it's intimidating just to walk in the doors and seeing all the equipment and having no idea of where to start. That's a huge, that's why trainers are so important, even if it's just for a few sessions or something to get you started, somebody to help educate you, because that's the biggest thing is, from that intimidation standpoint. For me, and everybody is different, but I actually dig being in the middle of a bunch of dudes in the gym. I mean, it motivates me to push harder, and everybody's not like that. Sure. But I think that I think it comes down to insecurity. Just people are going to be looking at me. I'm going to do this wrong. Yeah,
I feel like definitely insecurity is a big thing. Like not knowing everything you said. It's like walking into the lunchroom, not knowing where you're going to sit. You don't want to be the person everybody's looking at. Or feeling like you look dumb, or I think people also don't take criticism well, or I don't know if that's the right word, but like if someone were to come up and correct me, that's kind of scary because then I feel like I did something wrong and I want to be right. Like I want to do what's right. I want to do it the right way. I don't want to be the one who doesn't know what they're doing.
And I think that what a lot of people that don't really go to the gym a whole lot, people don't really care what they're more concerned about their workout, and they're having the same thoughts about somebody looking at me
in their brain.
That is so true.
But that's the other thing for people to know who don't go to the gym and maybe considering it is nobody's going to walk up to you and try to correct you on anything you're doing.
Right.
that rarely happens that anybody is going to do that unless you have a trainer that is specifically there for you to correct you, or, you've hired them to do that. There's not going to be a gym goer that typically is going to walk up to you and try to correct you.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. But I think another thing too is just not being familiar to women. Like, I think that's a big thing. Because I feel like in the past, the majority, like, walking into a gym is gym bros, like guys, and you didn't see as much women. I feel like maybe it felt like it wasn't a space that was naturally for you.
I think the other thing that I have heard a lot over the years, a lot of women are afraid. I've heard it so many times. I don't want to bulk up.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I don't want to bulk up. And I've had so many conversations, and I've even had people look at me when I had a whole lot more muscle than I do now, and they're like, I really think it's great that you look like that, but I don't want to look like you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't, unless you're going to be throwing around a really heavy barbell on a consistent basis. That's not how this works. So I think that's the biggest thing too. Relay is,
it's not accidental.
No,
that's
it's not. And there's unless you are lifting a lot of heavy weights, you're not going to bulk up. You're going to get fit, but you're not going to bulk up.
Yeah. And there's like intentional food that goes with that too, to make that happen. Like, you have to eat a lot of food and you have to lift really heavy to get that look.
Consistently.
Yeah. Consistently.
Yeah. It's just way more effort in that than anybody really wraps their brain around. And I have heard that a gazillion times from women too. It's like, I don't want to look like that. I don't want to get too muscly. It's like, okay, you do have to have muscle. Muscle does burn fat, but they're just like, in order to get to what you're picturing as being too much, you don't have the time for that, because you don't have
you're not going to do that.
You don't have the food prepability. You're not going to be doing
prepability.
You're not going to be doing two-a-days in the gym.
Yeah.
You're not going to spend 60 minutes on top of that walking at the treadmill and fat burn. You understand that takes so much freaking effort.
Well, and the other thing too is this. One thing that I'm very passionate about it because of the place that I am in life, for women my age, women in their 40s, you can do cardio all day long, and I've seen this so many times. When women enter perimenopause, they start doing a whole lot more cardio because they start holding weight in places that they weren't holding weight in before. They get it around their middle and they chase it.
Right.
They think that like what they were doing does not work anymore, and so they try to do more. I did it. I was running more. I was doing more half marathons. I was doing a bunch to try to chase that weight. And what gets missed is that your body is changing with your hormonal changes, and it is so important to start strength training because there's so many things that are happening with the decline in the hormones, that if you are not offsetting that with some sort of strength training, not just the cardio, and not as much cardio because your body needs more recovery, you are going to start seeing some negative changes in your overall health. Yeah. So,
I don't want to spend the entire podcast.
No, that's a whole nother.
I am very. If you've watched any of these podcasts where I'm filling in, this is normally where I take it. Nutrition and trying to get that fear part of, getting into health and fitness and getting moving. I want to get it out of there.
Yeah.
Right. Making things accessible.
I think it is. Like, it's going there. And I think a lot of it is due to social media and fitness people who are fitness, like girls and influencers who are weightlifting. Like, you see it way more than you used to. And people are like, this is what we do now.
Your generation is a lot better about that than our generation was.
But it's helping the older generation too. Like, a lot of my clients will say things that I'm like, wow, that's great. Like, I wouldn't expect that to come from you.
You knew things about stuff.
Like creatine. What? You're taking creatine? That's amazing. Where'd you hear to take that?
But I do want to shift gears a little bit so we can make sure that we spend some time on this. I want to talk about B-2, but also what you want, where you want to take this.
Oh, I was going to ask that too.
Yeah. So
curious.
Yeah. What's the vision? I know, and maybe go through real quick what type of practitioners are in here and what you're open to. You're obviously open to rowdiness because we wouldn't be here otherwise.
So it's a challenge. I mean, because every type of wellness and fitness business looks a little bit different as far as what they're doing. We face some challenges as far as putting people together with noise level and energy level and things like that. But what I have found with this and what is so exciting through this is the community that has happened. I had that as part of the vision, but I didn't realize how big of a part of the vision it would become and is. And that's really where I'm at. It's not, we now have, because we offer not just permanent office spaces, but we have day rental and share spaces here and both in Mount Juliet. So in the Brentwood location, we have more than 50 businesses now that are either renting space, doing share spaces, doing day rentals here that has created this amazing community. And I'm really trying to connect with the community as a whole, because through the networking that I've been doing for B-2, I've connected with a whole lot more wellness and fitness businesses, and that's what I really want to continue. I think there's still a piece of this that can bring a whole lot more value to what we have as a common ground of trying to do, of just, we're all in this to help people. And right. So no matter what aspect of that is, there's some things that are missing, I think, as fitness professionals, of things that I want to bring through what I'm working on now is Well Pro Thrive, a networking group specifically for fitness and wellness related businesses and resources for them. And the reason is because we have clients, and our clients are, it's just like finding your person, whether it's your personal trainer, whether it's your massage therapist, whether it's your acupuncturist. You asked me about the businesses that are in here. It spans the range from nurse practitioners to PTs to we have acupuncturist, massage therapy. We have everything in here. And no matter what aspect of that, you are your business. You are the service that you are bringing. And so it's super important for you to connect with people. And I get a lot of questions from people that are just stepping into their own business or moving their business, of how to get clients, how to get more clients. Well, people need to see you. And so the networking part of this, of all the networking events that I've attended over the last year to try to get more exposure for B2, I was one of the only wellness professionals at all. Yeah. And I think that's a huge miss. I think that we need to create that space for us to collaborate. And it goes bigger than, tenant socials was one thing that I set up when I opened this, because I was like, let's take advantage of being in the same space. But I think it's bigger than that. And that's where I'm taking it, is I really want to connect with the wellness and fitness community as a whole and bring that cohesiveness.
Yeah, that's where you and I share a passion for sure. And we've done at least one event together, where our marketing 101, which is a lot of fun. But what you realize in those type of, meetings or workshops that we did, is that everybody is almost in the same place as entrepreneurs, right? They're, especially in the health and fitness space, because I think there's a stigma that it looks different to start and scale, a health business or, a wellness-based business or a fitness business than it would any other business. And that's not really the case. So what you're doing is you're giving them a firmer foundation and showing them, where they can take it.
And even if they don't want to take, even if they're happy with where they're at, this is a lonely business when you are a service professional. If you're a solopreneur, it can be a very isolating business. You're literally doing appointments all day long. You're not connecting with coworkers. You're not bouncing ideas off of people on a regular basis. And so that's where it's exciting to see the community and how it has formed here. And I actually have coworkers, and so that's where Well Pro Thrive comes in, is I want to bring that bigger piece to give that to people, no matter where they are taking their business. But I think it will open a lot of doors for people to see how they can scale it if they want to, or, connect with other professionals, because it only takes one person
Yeah.
that you meet to be a game changer for you.
So you created this really cool ecosystem here.
I like that word.
Yeah, I'm overusing it lately, so you're welcome.
I like it.
This word lately.
I really don't know why I keep using it. Of health, health and fitness professionals. You want to, like, the goal being that this is a collaborative space.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of room for that. You do have some spaces available, which you can talk about in a second. More so, your goal is to take that and with, WellPro, is to create that community, take that community that lives inside these buildings, this one here in Brentwood and the one in Mount Juliet, and transfer it to being more accessible right outside of these cities. I think it's just a really cool vision.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Watching it unfold, and we bounce ideas off of each other all the time, right here in these seats too.
And this is honestly, this is a big place where the WellPro Thrive vision came from, is because I didn't realize how much I needed him in my life until I met him.
I think
it's true.
Yeah, what you're saying about it being kind of isolating, one of the things that popped in my head was like, you're also isolated in your idea. Like, it's your idea. Maybe it's an idea that you haven't seen or heard of before, and you have to be confident in that. Like, without getting the affirmation from someone else who didn't have that idea.
Right.
Like, I've noticed that with my husband. Like, I'll think of something and I'm very optimistic about it, and he's like, or he's like, he's just practical, and he's not as much of a dreamer. He doesn't see how something could work. He's always thinking about why things wouldn't work. And we know that dreams and new things, something new doesn't happen from only thinking about how it won't work. You have to think, well, we're going to make it work, you know? So if you only have those people, then it's so isolating to, like, continue. But so, yeah, I can see how, as you were talking, I was like, oh, I hear her saying some similar things like I've heard Terry say. So I feel like you guys would be great to help each other.
We do a lot of bouncing.
I call him my Insta friend.
Yes.
Your Insta friend?
He was my Insta friend.
Oh.
Yeah, and we haven't even known each other that long, but we almost text ideas back and forth just about every day. And I appreciate when she's really intuitive too, because she knows this is when I am just down, and sends me a text and encourages me. So I do appreciate you too.
Wow, that's sweet.
But that's what this place is.
Yeah.
I think that's what the point we're trying to make.
Yeah.
Is that it can't be that. So a utopia of wellness businesses.
Yeah.
So take a minute and tell about what space you have open, and like what is possible in these spaces, because you talked about one-off rentals. You do have some office spaces for rent. Give us a little overview of what's available.
Right now, I am happy to say that we are almost 100% occupied in Brentwood. I have a couple of small offices that are like 65 square feet that are available, that could be for coaching somebody that is doing some Zoom training or Zoom work that wants to come in here and be part of a community. That could be an option for them. So there are a couple of smaller spaces. I have a classroom / meeting space where we have a weekly, we have an instructor that does a weekly breathwork class here out of that. We have a company that does a meditation class weekly, a monthly sound bath. These are all practitioners that lease that space on a weekly or monthly basis to bring those. I have a chiropractor that's going to be starting out of there 1 day a week to be able to bring his business to this side of town. And that's what I've got going in Mount Juliet as well, is one of the things I'm leaning into now because of all of the requests that I'm getting there's a lot of us that are stepping into our own business, but we want to do it without a huge investment, or we can't commit to a year lease or that kind of money. And so the share space thing is a dream for a lot of people.
That's
so I'm
such
really
a good idea.
leaning into that. So yeah, I'm trying to meet people where they're at and what they need. So there's a lot of options there for anybody that is needing some of those options.
And you and I have plans to do more workshop style stuff too. Yes. So we're also going to be hosting the Fit Pro Success Summit here at B-2 Wellness too. So stay tuned for more on that. That's a little bit down the road, but yeah, I love it. Like it was such a great opportunity for us to kind of stretch out a little bit. So we appreciate, you letting us move into your conference room without really asking. We just like, well, take this. Like,
this is what we're doing. Okay.
We're already
I like decisive people.
There's no time for indecisiveness.
No. I love it.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. You said people who are outside of the city are bringing their business here. Like Mount Juliet, you said a chiropractor.
Yeah, so
that part was like, oh man, that's really needed. Like, because you could open another location if you had the money to immediately do that. But if you could do the share space for a while, build up your clientele until you need a space, then it's way more doable. It's such a smart idea.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's co-working space. There's a lot of co-working spaces available, but there's not co-working spaces that are already set up for body work, or in Mount Juliet, mental health therapy. I just set up a therapy space there. We have a body work share space here. We have the meeting room, classroom, and I've got one in Mount Juliet as well. So it just gives a lot of different options for the wellness community as a whole to be able to do that exactly like what we're talking about.
Yeah. Do you have I guess websites or social accounts for all of your endeavors that the listeners and I can follow and keep up with?
It is B2Sweets.com is the website, B2 Sweets on social media. And then Bodywell is my OG business, and that's Bodywell TN1 on social media, and then bodywelltn.com.
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited to see what you do next, Vanessa.
Me too.
You're killing it.
And before we officially land the plane, is there anything you would like to share with the listeners? And it could be anything. It could be a special. It could be, I don't know, some encouragement. Want to give you a second to address the fine folks behind the camera.
Yeah, I think I, as a woman who has come from, I've done everything now between, working in finance for 19 years and a job I was miserable in, to getting into the gym. And I think the biggest thing that I would tell anybody is you have more control than what you think you do. Mm-hmm. A lot of us get to that space where we just feel like we have no options, or we're stuck, or we just feel like we have no power. And that's just not true. It's about taking that first step and finding something that you can control in that moment, whatever that is. And a lot of times just moving your body makes you get to that moment of one little piece leads to another little piece, leads to another little piece, which is a big piece eventually. So that's the biggest thing that I would tell anybody that's in that place struggling with that. And then from a fitness and wellness perspective, supporting small businesses, supporting those who serve others to help them. That's really what I'm all about. So if I can connect with anybody that is wanting to do that, no matter if you need space, or if you need a massage, or if you are just a human that is interested in bettering yourself through health and wellness, then I'm your person to talk to. So
that's true.
Can I get a massage?
100%. We'll talk.
Yes. Sounds great.
It's wildly convenient. It's right downstairs.
Oh, perfect.
Literally.
Oh, cool.
Can't be late for that one here anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Vanessa, as always, I appreciate your friendship, your partnership on the things that we're thinking about and working on for the future, and for stopping by and being on the podcast.
Of course. Thank you for asking me.
Guys, we appreciate you tuning in to this episode of the NFM Podcast, coming from the Optimize You studio. If you found this useful on any level, please like and share it with your friends. We appreciate you subscribing to the YouTube channel too. And on behalf of all of us here at NFM and the folks behind Spread the Positive, I am Terry Bargy. This is Abby Miranda, and we thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.